Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Director Kash Patel, and I'm standing before you in New York City to share details about one of the most significant law enforcement operations we've conducted in recent years. Today marks a turning point in our fight against organized crime and corruption in professional sports. What I'm about to describe represents months of dedicated investigative work, countless hours of surveillance, and the coordinated efforts of hundreds of law enforcement professionals across multiple states. The operation we're announcing today has resulted in the arrest of more than 30 individuals connected to an elaborate criminal network. This network operated at the intersection of professional basketball and traditional organized crime families. The scope of this investigation is unprecedented, touching multiple states and involving various forms of illegal activity. Standing with me today are representatives from numerous law enforcement agencies who have worked tirelessly to bring this case to fruition. Their dedication to justice and their commitment to protecting the integrity of our institutions cannot be overstated. Each person on this stage represents the best of American law enforcement. We are here because justice demands it. We are here because the American people deserve to know that their entertainment, their sports, and their trust will not be exploited by criminal enterprises. We are here to send a clear message that no individual, regardless of their fame or connections, is above the law. The investigation we're discussing today began several years ago when our field offices started noticing unusual patterns in sports betting markets. What started as routine financial monitoring quickly evolved into something much larger. Our agents discovered connections between individuals in professional basketball and members of established crime families that have operated in this country for generations. This is not simply a story about gambling. This is about systematic fraud, about manipulation of outcomes, about the corruption of an American institution that millions of people follow with passion and dedication. This is about criminals who thought they could hide behind celebrity status and organizational complexity. The charges we're bringing forward today include wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, illegal gambling operations, and conspiracy. These are serious federal offenses that carry significant penalties. More importantly, they represent a betrayal of public trust on a massive scale. I want to be clear from the outset, this investigation is ongoing. The arrests made today, while significant, represent one phase of a larger operation. We continue to follow leads, analyze evidence, and pursue additional suspects who may have been involved in this criminal enterprise. Me, familiar to basketball fans, is among those facing charges. According to the evidence we've gathered, he played a role in facilitating communications between active players and gambling interests. The indictment alleges that he used his credibility and connections within the basketball community to help recruit others into the scheme. Damon Jones, another former professional player, faces charges related to his alleged involvement in arranging meetings between gamblers and individuals who could influence game outcomes. The evidence suggests he acted as a middleman, connecting people who should never have been in today's arrests include individuals from various backgrounds, each playing a specific role in this criminal enterprise. I want to be clear that all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. However, the evidence we've gathered supports the serious charges being brought against them. Among those arrested today are several individuals with high profiles in the basketball world. These include former professional players whose names many of you would recognize. These are individuals who achieved success on the court, but then became involved in activities that betrayed the sport and its fans. Chauncey Billups, a contact with each other. Terry Rozier, whose career was still active, faces perhaps the most serious allegations. The indictment charges that he provided inside information about his own team's strategies and personnel decisions. It further alleges that on certain occasions, he deliberately underperformed or made decisions on the court that were designed to affect the outcome of games in ways that benefited gamblers who had advanced knowledge. Beyond these high-profile defendants, the arrests include numerous individuals with connections to organized crime families. These defendants allegedly provided the infrastructure that made the sport's corruption possible. Several individuals with ties to the Bonanno crime family face charges related to operating illegal bookmaking operations. These operations took bets on games where the outcomes had been influenced by inside information or direct manipulation. The bookmakers allegedly knew that certain games were fixed and adjusted their betting lines accordingly to maximize profits. Defendants connected to the Gambino family face charges of conspiracy and racketeering. The evidence suggests they provided organizational oversight to the operation, coordinating between different criminal elements payments and ensuring that profits were distributed according to agreements between various participants. Members of the Genovese family face money laundering charges. They allegedly operated businesses that served as fronts for washing proceeds from illegal gambling. Money from fixed games would be funneled through legitimate appearing businesses, then distributed to participants in ways that were difficult to trace. Associates of the Lucchese family face extortion and robbery charges. The evidence indicates they were responsible for enforcing agreements within the criminal network. When participants tried to back out or threatened to cooperate with authorities, these defendants allegedly used threats and violence to maintain silence and compliance. The charges span a wide range of federal offenses. Wire fraud charges relate to the use of electronic communications to carry out the scheme. Every phone call arranging a fixed game, every text message sharing inside information, every email coordinating betting activity potentially constitutes a separate count of wire fraud. Money laundering charges address the extensive efforts to disguise the source and destination of illegal proceeds. The indictments detail complex schemes involving multiple bank accounts, shell companies, and cryptocurrency transactions designed to make dirty money appear clean. Extortion charges relate to threats and coercion used to maintain the operation. Some participants were forced to continue their involvement through threats against themselves or their families. Others were coerced into silence about what they knew. Illegal gambling charges address the core activity of operating betting operations without proper licensing or regulation. These operations took in millions of dollars in wagers on sporting events while evading taxes and operating outside any legal oversight. Conspiracy charges tie all these activities together, establishing that the defendants worked together toward common criminal goals. The conspiracy counts are particularly important because they allow us to hold accountable not just those who directly committed criminal acts, but also those who planned, organized, and benefited from them. Some defendants face additional charges related to specific incidents. These include robbery charges related to the theft of winnings from other gamblers, assault charges related to enforcement activities, and fraud charges related to specific deceptions carried out as part of the broader scheme. The potential penalties these defendants face are severe. Wire fraud carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Money laundering can result in up to 20 years imprisonment. Racketeering charges under the RICO statute carry potential sentences of up to 20 years. When multiple counts are combined, some defendants face the possibility of spending the rest of their lives in federal prison. Beyond criminal penalties, these defendants face civil consequences. The professional athletes involved will likely face lifetime bans from basketball. They may be required to forfeit contracts, endorsement deals, and pension benefits. Their reputations, once sources of pride and income, have been destroyed by their own criminal choices. For the organized crime figures, these prosecutions represent another blow to families that have operated for generations. Federal authorities have systematically dismantled these organizations over decades, and today's arrests continue that important work. I want to emphasize again that these are allegations at this point. Every defendant will have the opportunity to contest these charges in court. They will have access to legal representation and the full protections of the American justice system. But the evidence we've gathered is substantial, and we are confident in the strength of these cases.